Thank you, everybody, for joining today's webinar with Veryon. We're really excited to be on the call today. Just wanted to start with a quick agenda in terms of the topics we'll be covering. We're going to start with a quick introduction to Veryon. We'll be talking about Veryon's partnership with HeadSpin. We'll be talking about HeadSpin and our product. We'll discuss some of the use cases and the benefits and success stories that we've seen. And then we'll discuss the future. What do we have in plan for the upcoming future here? We'll open up the question and answers at the end, so please feel free to ask questions. We like to keep this, collaborative. Please feel free to ask your questions at any point, and we will answer them at the end of the call. So just wanted to start with a quick introduction to the speakers. Jyothsna, why don't you go ahead and give us a quick introduction to who you are?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Jyothsna Vattikuti, working here at Veryon as a principal software engineer, automation testing expert. It's been more than 3 years working with Veryon, and my passion for automation testing kept growing with all the edging technologies we use and the innovations we do. I work on the enhancements of the existing frameworks we have and also the new tools we want to use to make the robust frameworks we wanted to use. I work closely with the cross-engineering departments across the company to get the requirements and meet the ends of the automation testing. It's been great pleasure to be here today and talk about the experience that we have as a Veryon with the HeadSpin and the continuation of participation with HeadSpin.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jyothsna, for being here. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. Really loved our partnership, so I'm excited to share that with everybody here. My name's Angie. I'm a Senior Director of Sales and Customer Success here at HeadSpin. I've been with HeadSpin for over 4 years. My background is working with a lot of different tech companies, different digital native companies, and helping them improve their digital experiences. So I'm really excited to talk about our product today and about Veryon. To kind of kick things off, I think it would be great, Jyothsna, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a quick overview to Veryon, who you are, what you do. Yeah, would love for you to do that.
For sure. Veryon as a company, we operate across whole world, and our main focus is maximizing uptime in aircraft industry. We have more than 75,000 professionals using our solutions in a day-to-day life and 200,000 plus aircrafts relying on the services we provide. We have a wide range of applications that are easy to use as we provide mobile and desktop applications along with our web products. That puts us at having more than 50 plus years success rate in this industry. Today, we are serving more than 180 countries with 7,600 plus customers across the globe. We are a team of more than 300 people putting all their hard work to achieve all of the above. And if you move to the next slide.
Yeah.
So what do we do? So as a company of acquisitions, we build our product portfolio by attacking every angle of the line of the aviation space. All of the line, every time the aircraft comes from the production, we are there. VR software covers everything post-production of an aircraft. Is it related to the maintenance, parts and inventory, publications, operations, and work center, whatnot. So what do we do? Let's look at it. Maintenance and tracking. Our focus is really on maintenance of an aircraft. So look at all the routine and non-routine items with an airplane. To do that, we use our inventory as well. Because as I'm repairing an aircraft, I need to know what is available in inventory, which parts I'm replacing on and off, right? To be able to successfully replace parts and perform the maintenance. Then comes our technical publications. So every time there is an airplane is built, there is a manual associated with the airplane. And revisions are being done and regulations are being applied. So the technical publications is focusing and to bring that information to the end user to be able to apply to during the maintenance management. Business aviation heavily relies on the flight operations. Need to be able to book your planes, need to book your crew, you need to know which airplanes are routed where. So optimizing flight schedules and things like that, as everything related to flight operations comes under that. Work center is everything related to how is work being performed on airplane. So when a maintenance is performed and work is completed, sometimes we do it from the third parties. So work center allows our operators on the airplane to be able to create invoices and work completed for other parties that are not related to you or your organizations. The other business side that we focus is also the commercial and military side. There comes the 3 products that we have that focuses on that side. The first one is the defect analysis, that is looking at all of the commercial airlines and understands what are the reoccurring problems within making models of the aircraft, and understands using machine learning and clustering, what are the occurring problems and that are happening, how can we prevent the reoccurring. Then comes our guided troubleshooting. It's everything related to how to troubleshoot. My plane and engine focuses on heavy machinery and specific issues with them. We use machine learning and AI to be able to troubleshoot in a smart way that improves the fix effectiveness and how to fix complex problems within the industry of commercial military aviation. Then comes our Veryon Tracking Plus. It provides a very similar solution for maintenance tracking and the inventory management on our commercial and MRO level. It's because the regulations are different on business aviation and commercial aviation. So we need more in-depth solutions. So we get it from the Veryon Tracking Plus. That's all the products that we have and the solutions we provide.
Yeah, no, this is amazing, Jyothsna. I think, I was kind of blown away by the level of use cases that you guys have, the different types of range of use cases that you have, and then just the impact that you're having in the aviation industry. I think it's quite incredible. So thank you for giving us that overview on your company. I'll just take a moment here to talk a little bit about HeadSpin and our product. Some of you may be familiar with us, some of you maybe not. But if you look at kind of HeadSpin at a very high level, what are we? We are essentially an omni-channel testing, analysis, and monitoring platform. So essentially, we're testing and we're providing data science insights on the edge. So whether it's on the app layer, the device layer, the network, or the location, we're really looking at the full picture of all the different variables that are involved when it comes to testing. The way you kind of want to view HeadSpin is, from the left-hand side here. So your team might be creating manual and automated tests. Essentially, you want to be able to execute those tests on an infrastructure. So that's where our devices come into play, or our endpoints. So the way that it works is that we have a global device infrastructure. This is made up of all real devices. We don't do any simulation or any emulation. We only test on bare metal devices. The idea is that these devices are actually physically located in over 60 locations and 50 countries worldwide. So you're getting a real picture of an end user experience because you're testing on a real device that's connected to a real network in a real location. And then the really cool thing here is that you're going to essentially get all of this information out of the box. So anytime you run a test, whether it would be manual or whether it would be automated, you're going to, of course, get a very high quality screen recording. And then, you also get, a video, but you can also take screenshots. If you wanted to capture some screenshots, you can do that as well. And then you get information on the network packets, the code, what are the various API CDN calls being made? How is the device performing? How is the audio and the video quality? That's something that's very interesting for us as well, as a lot of our customers is getting an idea of the overall quality of a video stream or an audio stream. So that's something that, we kind of specialize in. And then app responsiveness as well. So if the app is taking too long to respond, maybe there's some latency, maybe there's some lag, then the platform is able to kind of quickly pick that up. So that's kind of I would say the foundation, but the really, interesting part about HeadSpin is our analytics. So every time, again, whether you run a manual or an automated test, you're essentially going to get a very deep waterfall UI session, which is essentially a list of metrics and KPIs. I believe there's 130 plus different KPIs that you get out of the box. And these KPIs and metrics are going to help you identify issues. So anything related to end user experience issues, whether it's blank screens, black screens, loading screens, network errors, distorted screens, connectivity issues, loading animations, really anything that's creating any type of a problem when it comes to a user experience, we're going to help you quickly identify that. And the way that we do it, if you look at our visualization, you're going to get a time series view. So it's going to have all of the different metrics laid out in a time series. You can actually scrub through it. You can kind of, use it to track on the video what was happening on the screen when the issue took place. We also have our AI issue card. So this is another really interesting piece of the puzzle where anytime our platform detects a problem, whether it's a loading animation that's taking too long, maybe there's low page content where there's nothing or there's little on the screen, it's actually going to bubble up those issues, and it's going to give you recommendations and root cause analysis on why that issue might be happening. So again, really helping you quickly identify those problem areas. And then dashboards and alerts and watchers. So you can absolutely, integrate with our dashboard, which is Grafana, within the platform. You can have all of your visualization set up there. You can set up alerts, you can set up watchers and notifications depending on the thresholds that you think are important. Or you can extract that data. If you have your own dashboarding system, you can extract it as well. So that's kind of HeadSpin at a very, very high level. I think we'll jump to the next slide here. So I don't know, Jyothsna, maybe you can, take this one and help us understand what was the reasons that you actually were looking for a new testing tool? What brought you to HeadSpin in the first place based on the challenges that you were facing?
For sure. How did we start? We as a company, we are always focusing and working towards to provide a bug-free product to the customers, and being in the aviation space. So our products are used every day on day-to-day life basis, and it's on the important locations they wanted to provide. So how do we provide those applications? It's making our testing more reliable and making it easier with the automation. From the automation perspective, we always wanted to use the edging technologies and all the tools out there that provides a great performance, so that our automation testing is reliable and we could do as much as the regression testing we wanted to do, so that we could deliver the bug-free product. So one of such thing is got affected was the mobile testing. With the previous vendors we have the performance issues on the mobile devices that we are testing. It's they freeze, they stuck, and the opening of the device itself takes longer, making our automation test to not even run them. And even the false negatives, we don't know if it's because of the performance of the device or the performance of the application. That's something that we are always confused, and we had to do the retesting again on the real devices that we have with us. So that's making us longer and making even the releases go longer. So that's when we started looking. And also one of the other thing that we were was 2023 and 2024 has been a great year for the Veryon. We are awarded as Artificial Intelligence Excellence Award in both 2023 and this year. So that's where we wanted to see all the edging technologies out there on the AI and give us more inputs on how we can improve all the performance. So, and it comes with the automation, and also it also has things with the manual testing. So when our manual testers go there and perform testing on the devices that we had earlier, we saw it's taking longer, and the issues with not even knowing what are the things that we could get an insights on the performance of the app. So that's when we started looking for different opportunities. Angie, if you could go to next slide.
Yeah.
So why did we choose HeadSpin? So like I said, we started looking and we went through so many tools, and we did our POCs and we did all the background researches for sure. And we were impressed with the AI tools that HeadSpin provides and all the insights that it's been providing. But throughout our POC, we did took a look at the performance that it's been providing. So all the devices we are working on, even on the POC, did not show any of the performance issues, even on the starting of the devices or throughout our automation testing. And all the APIs that HeadSpin has made us great impact in robusting the framework with our framework that we have today on the mobile, and making all those APIs also take to the next level, where we have improved our API framework as well. And talking about the support, I think it's been a great support. It's been a stellar support. We got it throughout the POC and even continuing till today and growing. So Angie and her team is always there whenever we have questions and we have any issues on the POC or with any things that we wanted to look at it, and they always have taken the feedback from us. So that's been one of the things that we considered. And I think one more important thing that we considered was the Appium Inspector tool. That Appium Inspector tool is one of the great breakthrough for us. It made our engineers with Windows machines expand their accessibility and usability to develop our automation testing on the iOS as well without the Mac machines. without any simulators being run on the Windows machine, we were able to now automate our iOS devices. So with all those things in as a tangible benefits, I think we chose HeadSpin.
Yeah, amazing, Jyothsna. I think you're bringing me back to the POC time when we were working together, just kind of discussing some of those problem areas that you guys were facing, and then how we came about coming to the decision that it was the right partnership for both of us. I think it's been an amazing journey so far, and I definitely can see why it makes sense for us to partner based on the, the goals that you had, and then also the value that we provide. So it was a natural choice to work together. I'm just, I'm thinking that it probably makes sense to do an overview of kind of like what did our partnership look like in the beginning, and then how did it evolve? So if we think about the initiation of our partnership, I think we first got introduced in September of 2023. So it's been quite a little while now that we've known each other. Exactly like you said, I think you guys were looking for a very robust solution. You were looking for something that had AI that would back it up. You were looking for ways to be more efficient. You wanted to kind of increase your ability to test very quickly. So everything I think that you had requested was kind of something that was very out of the box for us. That being said, I know some of the features and the tools that you guys really liked at that time was the regional device variability. I know that you guys wanted, a diverse set of devices across Android and iOS, and that's something that we obviously provide. In addition, we of course provide location diversity. I know that Veryon is a global company. You guys are quite, well spread out all over the world, and you're constantly kind of like bringing on new companies that are located in different parts of the world. So I think it made sense to partner and provide that device variability, whether it was device models, device types, but then also like locations and networks, right? You get that out of the box as well. High performance devices, like you already mentioned, I think you guys were struggling with having devices that were slow to start, were creating some challenges with your actual test results, and then you were constantly having to revert to your physical device in hand. And that's the last thing you want to be doing when you're using a cloud device. So I think that's something that HeadSpin's kind of known for, is having high performance devices. Our operations team does a great job of making sure that any broken devices, any bloated devices, anything that's wrong with the device is quickly taken care of, that we replace it, we maintain them very, very well. Diagnostic dashboards, I know you and I have spoken about this in our meetings, but I know you guys didn't have a ton of diagnostic dashboard. You didn't have a lot of insight or data to kind of back up the testing. So that's where, again, HeadSpin was a natural choice. I think it took a little bit of time for us to kind of learn, what are the requirements that you need? What are the goals that you want from the data? What is it that you're trying to do? Like, I know we talked about categorizing test results by application or by user journey. So really, I think that was a collaborative activity to understand what are your goals with dashboards, how can HeadSpin help you achieve those. So I love that we're able to provide that for you. And then the performance monitoring sessions, I think another really cool feature of the platform, like I mentioned earlier, is that you actually get all of those KPIs, all of those performance and user experience related sessions out of the box. So, from going from not having that to having that, I think is a really powerful thing. And definitely, I think we're going to hopefully work together to scale that up for you as well. In terms of I think we've spoken about, but in terms of the enhancements that I think we've been able to provide, enhancing your automation speed, time is everything, and making sure that you guys are able to be quick to do what you need to do, whether it's manual testing or automated. I think that's something that it sounds like we've been able to help you achieve, is making you a little bit more faster when it comes to achieving those outputs that you want. And then just having improved automation practices, like you said, right? The Appium Inspector tool was a big one. But I think even just having, different features that we have made available to you, we've been working with your team in partnership to really define what would be a good user experience for you on our platform, whether it's, how you upload applications, how you download applications, sort and filter, but also how you're able to create your automation. So that's where I think these tools are really, really helpful. And again, it's part of the collaborative nature that we bring to the table, both of us, right? So I think that's been a really, really valuable thing. So those are just kind of the high level use cases that we were able to achieve during our POC together over the last while. In terms of our Appium Inspector integration, I do want to just spend a moment to talk about this. I know Jyothsna mentioned that it was really helpful for the developers who needed access to iOS on Windows machines. So I think, if you think about the Appium Inspector tool, this is something that's a really cool tool as part of our HeadSpin platform. Of course, it's kind of integrated directly into our remote control UI. It basically simplifies your entire process of creating Appium scripts. You don't need to have any separate simulators, separate emulators. You don't even need to kind of set up on the Appium environment. You can essentially use HeadSpin completely to do your Appium script development within your web browser. So I think that's a really, really powerful thing. As Jyothsna mentioned, I think a lot of customers are starting to give us that feedback that the Appium Inspector tool has been a game changer for them. And then the really cool part about it as well is that when you make a change in the Inspector tool, it basically reflects immediately on the device and vice versa. So you can actually, use it to kind of manipulate the scripts and then, of course, what's happening on the device in real time. So that's a very, very interesting feature. It just kind of gives you a simplified UI navigation as well, having a device view pane where you can display the real-time screenshots of the device screen, control pane, source tab, actions tab. So trying to make things as easy as possible and as intuitive as possible for our customers. Benefits of using our HeadSpin Appium Inspector tool, obviously the efficiency, again, reducing the time to set up and then enabling a quicker start to your testing. Highly convenient. You don't have to switch between applications. You don't have to, use a bunch of different tools that can become very clunky, very hard to manage. It's very convenient. It's all in one place. And then enhanced debugging capabilities, right? You can have immediate feedback. You have the interactive testing capability. So basically just helping you be a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more efficient. So I'm just so happy, Jyothsna, that you did find value in this. Again, I think it's amazing that we're able to kind of provide feedback both ways. And you guys have been really critical in helping us improve our product as well. So please keep that feedback coming. We definitely appreciate it. And then I would love, Jyothsna, if you don't mind, coming from you directly, it's more powerful. If you don't mind just sharing a little bit more about the tangible benefits that you believe you've achieved by using HeadSpin.
For sure. Like I said previously, all the reasons that we chose HeadSpin are the great benefits that we are leveraging today. Coming from the automation testing background and coming from the Veryon, who completely relies on automation. At any given point of time, all our applications were almost like 75 to 80% of the test cases we have are automated today. And we do all of our regression mostly with automation. So coming from that background, I think we saw so much of the performance improvements helping our automation to run all those tests is a great benefit for us at Veryon. If you see at the pictures, all those runs that we are running daily today on HeadSpin, those were all the runs that are recorded and also even providing the performance sessions. So that's one of the advantages for sure. So like Angie said, all the KPIs that has been providing, we wanted to look at, and that's something that's new. And we wanted to see all those AI insights that's been being provided by the KPIs and go back to developers and see how we can improve the app more from performance perspective. And the other one would be like I said, the performance. When I say about performance, how much exactly are we seeing the performance increase? At least from the starting of the device, at the time it's taking to start the device, from the ones that we used earlier, the 40% of our time has been increased. So if you take about like when we are running 70 to 80% of our regression test and each time the device has to load up and the time has been reduced by 40%, that's something like there is a lot of efficiency we are looking at the runs that we are doing. And one more thing I wanted to talk was the cost. So it's been how much, so think in this perspective, like how much it would cost for our engineers or testers to get the real devices. And even it will be a pain for them to carry those devices every time they have to work to test those devices. So I think having this cloud with variety of devices and with all those high performance devices on all different regions, I think that's one of the coolest benefit that we are leveraging today. With all those things and even all the dashboard monitorings, like you see in the picture, those are all the runs that we are doing today. And it's been reporting like every week or every month, whenever we wanted to take the report, that's all the dashboards, the cool dashboards show the pictorial representations. So it's been great and we are leveraging all those benefits. And these were some of the few of the benefits that we are getting, but there are so many things that we are taking leverage.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Jyothsna. Yeah, this is really great to hear. You've definitely made my day because I love it when customers come back and give us positive feedback. So I love that our platform's been able to give you so much value in so many different ways, it sounds like. I think I'll just take a moment here. I know that, so far we've been talking very much about the Veryon use case where it relates to more application testing, manual and automated. I think what I wanted to just spend a moment on is some of the other use cases that are possible with HeadSpin. These are kind of like, different ways of looking at the platform and how it can be used. One case in point I want to talk about is how a lot of different social media companies are now starting to use HeadSpin for benchmarking purposes. So what do we mean by that? Essentially, if you want to do any type of comparison, if you wanted to compare even within your application, if you wanted to compare locations or devices, but also really if you want to compare against your peers in the market, the beauty of the platform is that you can test really any application. It doesn't necessarily have to even be yours. You can download any application from the App Store and start your testing that way. So, if you want to be first in class, you really want to compare your performance against your competitors or against your peers. This is something that we do kind of, out of the box as well as benchmarking. So you can either do it yourself or you can have our professional services team help you with it as well. The way that it works is that you can essentially set up devices in the locations that you care about. In this particular example with this company, they were primarily caring about Australia as a region. So we have a setup for them there. They're utilizing a variety of devices to ensure the multi-device compatibility. And what they're doing is they're capturing experience KPIs for their network peers. So this is particularly how they're trying to compare it is on the network, and they're looking at peers and how they perform depending on the network that they're connected to in Australia. And then what we do is we can create these benchmarking intelligence reports. So it's basically data visualization that compares your app or your product against your competitors. So this is something I've seen a lot of different companies be interested in. We've done it for a variety of companies and a variety of use cases. You can also monitor it by user journey if you wanted to see, okay, how long does it take to search on my app versus my competitors? You can absolutely do that. How is the video quality on my platform versus the others? That's another thing that's quite popular. So again, this becomes really powerful for leadership teams, for business teams who are interested, our product teams who are interested in knowing how do we actually fare in the market? How do we compare against our competitors? So that's just one example. Another example, it is still kind of on the network side, but I just wanted to give it because it's an interesting use case. We have customers who are doing drive testing. They want to test their popular apps, their OTT media, their social applications. You can actually deploy a HeadSpin P box. So this is the box that basically kind of powers our devices behind the scenes, but you can deploy it anywhere. So you could set it up in your office, you could set it up in a lab somewhere, you could set it up. We have customers who've set it up in store settings, in amusement parks. If you wanted to set it up, we have customers who set it up in apartment buildings, really to monitor any experience live from a particular location. So that's a really cool part about it. In this particular example, this is a telco company. What they're doing is they've actually got a P box deployed in a vehicle, and they're driving around to see how does the 5G experience, differ? How does it vary depending on the location that the user is connected to? So again, this is another powerful use case and another way to look at it. I'd say the range of use cases when it comes to HeadSpin is quite varied, right? It's not just application testing. It's not just browser testing. If you want to do network testing, if you want to do video stream testing, we have customers in media and entertainment, gaming, who are finding it very helpful to have all of our video metrics out of the box. So that's another one. But IoT device testing, right? We have customers testing the control and usage of hotel doors, garage door openers, things like that. So really, there's a wide range of use cases that can be covered with HeadSpin, and that's something that I wanted to just emphasize here. But on that note, I think it probably makes sense to just talk about what the future holds for Veryon and for HeadSpin. I know we've got some short-term plans. Obviously, long-term, we'll see what it holds. I think we have a very long-standing partnership ahead of us. But Jyothsna, would love to get your thoughts and your feedback on what do you think the future holds for us? What are some of the opportunities for us to make things even better?
For sure. But those are some cool features you showed. I think I'm excited to see how we can use them at Veryon as well. The benchmarking, the feature, I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
So talking about the future plans, I think we are in a great partnership and we are collaborating so well that we come with the feedback that we have and you guys taking it into account and making all those necessary changes we wanted, and even for the app improvement from HeadSpin as well. One of those would be the dashboard additions. Like I said, Veryon, at any given point, we are testing more than 5 applications. So we wanted to see the reports or dashboard pictorial representations by apps, the tests that we are running on different apps. So I think we're talking in that stage. I think it's been discussing from past few weeks. We are wanted to see if we can add tags and see the dashboard based on the tag so that we can see the based on the app that we are running. So that's something that's a short-term goal, and I think we are almost halfway through it, and we would be able to see it in near future. And one more great thing would be the app management. I love our collaboration on that for sure. All the things that we share feedback with, and you guys come up with different solutions you have. I'm I just wanted to say that Veryon is already accessing the beta version of it and giving the feedbacks constantly for it. I think we have seen a great improvement there. So that's something that we would like to continue and plan for the future on the app management and how we can make sure that HeadSpin also has the cool feature of uninstalling, installing, and everything from one repository. And even we could leverage that at Veryon to make it easier for our testers and the engineers. And one more thing would be the performance insight. So, like I said, the KPIs has been new for us, but taking us leveraging that opportunity and using it more, come up with more solutions from dev side, taking it back to them and come up with that. I think there has been a lot of collaboration we could do from there. I think that we should get a lot of information from KPIs from your side. And one more thing was the device different regions of the devices we have. So we wanted to see more use cases. We wanted to try on different regions of the devices we have. We are leveraging on HeadSpin today, all the high performance devices, so that we could see our apps performing at different broad regions around the world and how they are and how we are testing about that. So I think that's something that we wanted to use. So expanding our use cases would be the scenario, but I'm all excited for the future plans and opportunities.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you, Jyothsna. I think there's a lot we can do here. I think we'll just take a moment now to open up the floor for any questions. We want to give you guys a chance to ask questions. Like I said earlier, we like to be collaborative, so please do ask questions if you have any. It looks like there's a couple of questions here in the chat here, so I'll just take a moment. So the first question here is, I would like to do testing on TVs and set-top boxes. Is that something that you support, or is it limited to mobile phones only? So that's a great question. I think the way you want to look at HeadSpin is that we don't just support mobile devices. Mobile devices is something that is, of course, out of the box, one of our most popular use cases, but we also do support browsers, we support TVs, we support OTT devices, things like Apple TV, Amazon Fire Stick, Roku's. We have some gaming console support, Zebra devices, automobile devices. That's another one that we've kind of seen becoming popular. So actually supporting automobile testing. So there's a lot of different use cases when it comes to device support. TVs is definitely something that we support as well. Please do reach out if you have any needs for a POC, or if you have any questions about the support. Would love to show you that. The second question here I see is, what type of integration do you offer from an automation and CI/CD pipeline perspective? Okay, so I think the way you want to view that is that when it comes to automation frameworks, we basically can integrate with any automation framework you might be using, whether it's Appium, Selenium. 60 plus frameworks are pretty much right now being used on the platform. We're not kind of like restrictive to any one framework. So please, you can use any automation framework. If you have a particular one in mind, please reach out and we can talk about it. From a CI/CD pipeline perspective, same thing. We don't have any restrictions from a pipeline perspective. People are using Jenkins, people are using GitHub. There's a bunch of different ones that are being used. So really, there's not a lot of restriction, I would say, from an integration perspective. We're pretty open source on that side of things. And then the last question is, can I set up a test environment and try out your platform? Absolutely. We would love to show you a POC. We would love to show you how to get started. Please do reach out to me or anyone at HeadSpin. You can reach out to our general info at HeadSpin, or you can reach out to me. And I'll share my email here shortly. It looks like Someone else has a question. Where is AI involved from HeadSpin and what algorithm and model is being used? That's a great question. Yeah. So if you look at the way AI is involved, essentially in the way that everything is being monitored when you run a test session. So when you're actually running a test, it's going to analyze the screen. It's going to analyze what's happening on the screen. And our AI models are going to actually generate AI issue cards. They're going to make recommendations on where those issues are falling and what's actually behind the scenes on why it's happening. So really the AI is coming from a place of analyzing the overall experience that you've tested and recorded, and then giving you feedback and actually bubbling up the problems that it's detecting. And that's all based on the models that we've trained, kind of showing those issues again and again and repetitively and having it trained, as well as from a video MOS perspective as well. The AI is able to detect when there's video problems, when it's there's issues with the screen, when there's issues with the overall experience. In terms of the algorithms and models being used, I'm probably not the right person to talk about that. So I would probably request that our engineering team talk about that in more detail. If you want to learn more about that, please, again, reach out to me and I can set up time with the necessary people on our side. So those are the questions that I see here. Yeah, you're welcome. I think I'll just take a moment here to show in, my email, Jyothsna's email. Please reach out to either one of us if you have questions. Of course, Jyothsna would love to hear from you as well if you have interest in learning more about Veryon, but reach out to me as well if you have any questions, if you want to set up a POC environment, or if you just want to learn more, we would love to hear from you. So I think it's been a valuable session, Jyothsna. Again, thank you so much for your partnership. Thank you so much for trusting us to take on your testing needs. I've found this relationship to be very fulfilling, and I really think that, there's a lot of value we provide each other. So thank you so much for your time and for doing the webinar with us. And thank you so much to everybody who joined today. It's been a great session.
Thank you. Same goes here, Angie. It's been great time.
Awesome. Take care. We'll talk to you all soon.